All right, guys. Eric Balzini here with 9 to 5 Sports. Going to be getting to the round 2 showdown picks here. Also, kind of just recapping round 1. Going to give you guys some live outright bets you can make. And then just going to tell you guys who are the best picks for round 2 showdown. And hopefully we can have a good round 2 showdown. Really, I do think we can. Round 1 was kind of hit or miss, which is nice. I would rather have that. I would much rather have kind of both waves kind of doing decent enough. A couple of misses. That means round 2 can be a little bit more productive. Really, what it's been like, I don't want to say the last 2 months, but a majority of the weeks, it seems like the round or the AMT times have just been dominating. And then the round 2 tee times have not been dominating. And then most of the time, not last because of weather, most of the time, you would just go with whoever had the AMT times in round 2 and be good to go because one, they're most likely to play better. And they're just ranking out well because they kind of struggled in round 1. Well, right now we have it kind of mixed and matched, so we're going to have to go through the process and figure out which golfers are going to be the top picks. Right now, we're not seeing any weather advantage. It's about 4-mile-per-hour winds for the AMT time tomorrow and about like 9 for the most in the PMT time. Now, yes, sure, the gusts could get up a little bit more in the PMT times, but, not a big thing. Maybe just skew it a little bit more towards the AM, but if there's a golfer that you like in the PM, aka Justin Thomas or something, you can go with that. All right, so let's get into the picks. So the one thing I do want to talk about just real quick, just going off of the ownership here, kind of crazy. In some contests, Brian Harman was the most owned. He's actually not popping up on this because he is too far out of it. That is pretty much the best sample of that. But really high owned in some contests there. And then really from there, a lot of made cuts. So we'll see. We'll see how that's going to pan out. But as always, I like to get into that round 2 regression. So we're just going to get into the round 2 tab. So a little bit more better looking there. So regression, who is most likely to play better in round 2? I did tweet this out as well. So we can see not Brian Harman, number 1. Brian Harman is not number 1 here, which is kind of crazy. Will Zalatoris is, though, and which is kind of nice. Willie Z a little bit struggled there in round 1, which is predictable. And it's for you to decide whether or not you believe like him, JT, and even Mito are going to bounce back. The worry with them is obviously coming off of the PGA Championship, kind of the grind of that, and for 2 of them, the letdown of that, and then for JT, obviously the celebration of winning that. That was kind of the process there. It was tough for round 1 because both those 2 kind of ranked out well. Tough to know what to do there, and it's tough to know what to do in round 2. Like, they could easily bounce back. It's not surprising that they struggled in round 1. And it wouldn't be surprising if they went out and dominated in round 2. They all rank out really well in round 2. So that's up for you to decide. Brian Harman, I'm not going to be playing him. I could see him shooting like -3, though. He might be a little bit too far out. For him to make the cut, he would have to shoot what would have been the round of the day. Okay, so that's kind of interesting there. Taylor Gooch, I don't really love him, but, he's expected to play a little bit better. JT, it's crazy how many times JT has been the top round 2 pick. It is absolutely shocking. Like, pretty much every week you can just lock in JT into the round 2 being the top pick. It's crazy. And then the weeks where he's not the top round 2 pick, he's the first round leader, which I want to mention real quick for the first round leader. It is crazy like how easy it is to pick the low round score of the day. But also it is crazy how like many of those weeks are going to be dead heat reductions. Like, if it wasn't for that, it'd be a lot more profitable. Okay. And obviously the odds wouldn't be as good as well. So Sky Scheffler was like the one that I was on the most. He had a birdie putt on 18. It was very makeable birdie putt on 18 to get to -5. That would have been nice to hit that. But just talking about betting wise, round 1, 3-ball, profitable once again. Really strong there once again. So if you guys haven't been doing that, you should be. It's one of those things where, sure, if you do one bet at a time, you just single out a bet that you like, it might not work for you because it is one of those long-term things. Like, you're going to hit, 60%, 55%. Like, you're going to hit more than you don't, but it is one of those things where it's a long-term process where it adds up over the long term, okay? I just want to throw that out there. But I do like to see Billy Horschel popping up there. I do think he's going to make the cut. +2, that'll probably be the cut. We'll see. So if he just shoots even par tomorrow, he should be able to make the cut. Do want to mention the current cut sweat or the current cut percentages. 6 for 6 is at 9 in cash, 9%. And then the 6 for 6% in GBPs is about like 15% or so. And really, it's Brian Harman, and like Billy Horschel wasn't as chalky as I thought he would be. That was a little bit shocking once again. I don't really get what's going on with people hating Billy Horschel. Obviously, it's not really working out so far, but he's one of those guys that's been checking all the boxes. Kind of strange there that I guess someone like Brian Harman was a lot more chalky than Billy Horschel, even though the price difference wasn't huge. It's kind of strange there. I'm hoping people get penalized for that. But after that, I don't really love Cameron Tringale. Maverick McNeely I do like. Sanjay M I do like, and we'll see here. We'll get into the round 2 picks here. So really, once again, the tough part about the round 2 is figuring out what to do with JT, Will Zalatoris, Mito Pereira. Like, that's going to be up to you guys to figure out what to do with them, because for me, it's tough because I want to play JT. I know he just dominates in round 2. All 3 of those golfers got their feet wet. That's up for you guys to decide what to do. I could see easily just going with Sanjay M, Victor Hovland, Colin Morikawa. I don't love Sam Burns, so maybe just Jordan Spieth. Jordan Spieth, I do expect to bounce back. Maverick McNeely is a name that I really like. Jason Kokrak is a name I really like, and I do want to mention Jason Kokrak here. 10th most likely to win heading into round 2. He is currently priced at 55 to 1. So I know there's been a lot of talk about just betting in general. My process is to reduce the field to about 5%. Of the play. That's my betting cards, about 5% of the field. This gives me some leeway to make some live outright bets if I want, to get to about 7% of the field. Don't want to overload it too much, and you only want to do it when the buying opportunity is correct. I'm not saying it is exactly what Jason Kokrak, especially being the defending champ. Like, I just don't see him like winning, but I don't mind that. I don't mind that that idea. 55 to 1 is a good number. So it's much more of a number bet, and I'm never really one that's a bet the number type of guy, but that is a strong number that they have laying out there for him. I should mention as well, same thing with Davis Riley. Davis Riley, 5th most likely to win. He's 1 off the lead right now. Not really expected to do poorly. 21st in round 2 showdown pick. Not really expected to regress too much. Pretty much, he's kind of expected to gain a little bit there. Not too much. I mean, he's probably going to be even kill, so maybe -2 tomorrow. We'll see. So Davis Riley, not a bad round 2 showdown pick. Like, more likely than not, he's going to continue to play decent. That's what that's telling us. And, you could do a live ad on him if you didn't bet him outright. Not as good of a number. I think it's like 25 to 1, but that is an approach you can go with as well. Just talking about some other names that, are okay. Like Mark Hubbard, I don't mind. Don't love him. If he had the AMT time, I'd feel much better about him. It's just one of those things where it's kind of just like a mental bias that I need to get over this week, is that, you typically want to be targeting the AMT time. So, like, let's say if we were going to target the AMT time only, like Jason Kokrak, Jordan Spieth, you could go with. Victor Hovland, you could go with, and that really would leave you strapped for what you can do. But it's not terrible. You could figure out other plays there, like Chris Kirk. You go with. He's okay. Chris Kirk actually ranks out pretty decent as well for round 2 showdown, 26th, which is shocking because Chris Kirk wasn't a terrible play this week, but he has the lead. So it's kind of shocking that he still ranks out as a decent round 2 showdown pick, because typically a golfer, I don't want to say Chris Kirk's a bad golfer. I don't want to say Davis Riley's a bad golfer, but typically golfers like that would be expected to fall off a little bit more. And maybe that speaks volumes to some of the bigger name guys struggling a little bit, and just them as golfers, I guess. It's not a terrible idea. But yeah, that's kind of it. I do want to do a quick, show you guys my lineup approach when building lineups for round 2 showdown, because it's a very simple process. I'm going to show you guys the secret here. It's a very simple secret process here. I'm actually going to have to make this smaller so you guys can see it. Okay. Let me just make this bigger real quick. Bang. Oh. Okay. So we got it down pretty much. This is what it looks like. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. All right. So this is what it looks like. The simple thing that I do right here, and this is the magic, especially on a slate like this. Maybe 35% max ownership. Select OK. Go to generate lineup, which is a little bit off the screen here. And boom. More likely than not going to be a profitable slate. As simple as that. You see the player exposures here. Billy Horschel, 40%. That's probably too much. I'd maybe want to limit that. Ian Poulter, 40%, would probably want to limit that. Ian Poulter's a decent value play on the slate. That's why he's popping up. So you could easily do that. And so typically what I like to do is I like to skew towards the AMT time. We don't have to worry about that this week. So that's kind of nice. So I'm going to go show usage there. On this far part, you still can't see it. I'm sorting by the amount of lineups they are in. And then this tab, I'm going to take Poulter out. I'm going to put him into like 15% of builds. You know, the lineup optimizer likes him, so I'm not going to, completely annex him from it. 15% for Poulter, 15% for Cameron Tringale. Mito, what do we do with Mito? Do we play him or not? That's going to be up for you guys to decide. I could see taking him out. I could potentially see taking JT out or just, capping his exposure. And we could do that as well. So it's going to be up to you guys, and then you could just run it again, generate the lineups, and then you should be good to go. So that's going to be the process for round 2 Showdown. As you guys can see, I try to make it as quick and easy for you guys in this video. That's what my goal has been, is to try to make these videos quicker and easier for you guys, give you guys the information you need, and to get out of there. Hopefully that's been helping. We'll see. All right. Really need Billy Horschel to make the cut. If he does, it should be a fine week. Troy Money Merritt needs to step up. He was a guy that was on GPP-wise. I would love to see him, do well. Harold Varner III, outright bet. I don't know. My gut tells me it might be HV3 week. I know Scotty's there. I know some other big names are there. Chris Kirk, Davis Riley's right in the mix. Webb Simpson playing well, kind of pissing me off that he is because he's been someone that we've been targeting a decent amount this year, and it just hasn't been working. Something seemed to have clicked at the PGA Championship, but not someone I wanted to go crazy with this week, just given his course history. So we'll see what happens there. But it does seem like it could be a fun weekend here. And it does seem like it'll be a profitable betting week. And that's kind of the point I want to make as well. Like for round 1 Showdown, it wasn't that good for me, but it was a profitable round 1 betting wise. And that's just like the theme, is that betting is so much easier than DFS because you're playing against a position, or you're playing, what the goal is, I guess. I mean, in Showdown, it's a little bit different. In DFS, it's different. The goal is to get 6 for 6 across Scotland, but exactly what you're trying to accomplish. Where DFS, it's just like you're kind of mixing and matching, and you're hoping for the best. If you have one miss in DFS, that's going to hurt your whole slate. Like Brian Harmon was in a couple of my best Showdown builds. That's so painful. Whereas in betting, having Brian Harmon in a round 3 ball or, first round leader bet, that didn't really kill me too much because, well, it's only one miss. That's fine. That's kind of the difference. That's why betting is a lot easier than DFS. All right. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a like and subscribe. And as always, let's keep cashing.